If you're a knowledge worker, you probably have hands on keyboard pretty much.
all
Or,
day.
yeah,
The
or on
average is
phone,
like
yeah.
5 to 6 hours a day, which is a lot.
Incredible. Yeah, if you take out of the waking hours, almost I think 1/3 of the waking hours, your hands are literally touching a keyboard on phone. And this is also very interesting history. Today, there's like kind of going through my notes to prepare for this. I thought, let me look up the history of the keyboard, and seems like it was designed 150 years ago to keep the keys as far as possible,
Yeah.
so that the keyboard doesn't jam or whatever. And
They
somehow
wanted
it's
to make you genuinely slow.
genuinely slow. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So how has the experience been now? It's like, what do you hear from people who are using Whisper for day in, day out? How it's changing how people work.
this
For
is
me,
the
I will tell
thing
you,
I
I give
was-
this I need to data. Well, for me, it is dramatically changed. How I work is different, but yeah, in general, what do you hear?
Across all the things that you do on your computer or phone, let's say, what percentage of it happens with WhisperFlow versus your keyboard?
For me,
Yeah.
nearly 100%.
That's amazing.
I try not to type
Yeah.
unless I'm in a position room where I can't speak up. Then I very grudgingly go back to my 2-finger typing. But otherwise, I would rather speak all the time.
Yeah. So the median across millions of users is 72%. Means like on everything they're doing on your phone or computer, 72% is done with WhisperFlow,
Yeah.
and about a quarter is done with your keyboard. And the change happens over a couple of months because you need some weeks to build the behavior.
Right.
But that has been, I would say for me, one of the most shocking things that I've seen is how quickly people build a behavior, because a lot of us grew up with keyboards, right? Like especially everybody who's between, say, like 15 and 35, 40 years old. Like this is what you did as a child, and then in school, and then in college, and then mostly for work. So to seeing people for the first time break that habit
Yeah.
and move on to something new has, I would say, like been what people describe as like, this has changed my life.
I can vouch for it, and this keyboard, I guess, for most people is not more than 50 or phenomena that hardly people just used to be professional typist,
Yeah.
and that's the only people who will know how to type on a keyboard. Keyboard was literally a typewriter. I guess that's where we see this keyboard in the past. So I think it became necessity of life, but this habit change is that is staggering, because habit change is very hard. I remember when iPhone was introduced, people were so much attached to their tiny QWERTY keyboard on the BlackBerry.
Yeah.
And many people didn't let go of that go for like 4 or 5 years even, until everybody else was using smartphones. I'm surprised to see how quickly people are able to make this habit transition, and perhaps rightly so, but speaking so natural, whether you're literate, illiterate, all of us can speak. And one of the things I've learned, that humans love to talk. We can talk endlessly.
Yeah.
And I guess what you're enabling, you're literally giving a voice for their work context or whatever reason they're using computers for, and that's has to be very liberating. I think it's definitely a product that can and is changing life. But I want to ask you a question. On every time I use your product, I also two things I notice. On your phone, Apple makes it very hard to use.
Yeah.
That's second thing is the second question that occurred, and obviously Apple will want to add it, because for them, this is like enabling somebody else on the keyboard is some ways, just probably not good for Apple. So I don't know how you think about that, and how do you think about building enough moat so that as and when Apple tries to introduce, I'm sure it's inevitable they will do. I'm sure you think about it.
Yeah, they actually had the WWDC this morning, and they announced that they're gonna have dictation working across all the applications.
Whatever it is right now is very crappy, the Apple version. So
Yeah, no, they released a new one this morning.
okay.
So, well, mostly it's one of the things that we expect. Like when we were raising our most recent round,
Everyone will
there was a whole section in the deck that was just like, what happens when Google and Apple release something that's 70% as good?
Right.
And
That's 70% as good.
even 70% is good, right? Because people are getting it for free. They don't need to install something. You just have it natively accessible. And so you can imagine people would just say like, hey, why don't I just use this thing? Why do I pay extra money to get WhisperFlow on? It's very fair. And so the way I really think about building the business is, this is what Whisper does today. For you, we want to increase the value that it gets to people so much that you can just give a lot more of the product available to people without the paywall. And then the reason Whisper wins is not just because it's the best dictation app, it's because the one app that just understands you. It has context on you across all your different systems. across your phone and your Google Suite and everything else. It's a system that you trust. You trust to have it secure your data, and you trust it to do things for you. That's the next phase of things that we're building. Because dictation for us, great starting point. Build a really good brand for the company. And now everything is focused on what comes next.